Hi, welcome to UCS Presents Wellness Moments, a community education series with content experts about information that is relevant for today in just about 15 minutes. Today, we're here to talk about social and emotional well-being of our young children, particularly now in the middle of the pandemic in a virtual learning environment. I'm here today with Michelle Enis, Head Start teacher in our Early Head Start program, and Bonnie McGowan, who's a Head Start teacher and the coordinator of our River Road program, to talk about social and emotional learning, particularly since Head Start works with children from infancy to preschool and helps to engage them in social and emotional learning. So welcome and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Let's start the conversation off by talking about and defining what social and emotional learning is and why it's important.
Social development is a child's ability to create and sustain meaningful relationships. Emotional development refers to the child's ability to express, recognize, and manage their emotions, as well as respond appropriately to others' emotions. These are important life skills that enable children to develop into adults with positive relationships and good mental health.
Bonnie, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, and preschoolers, it is important to help develop skills to create friendship, empathy, self-confidence, and the ability to understand emotions, how to correctly express them. At Head Start, we have been trained in the pyramid model, which is a framework that is evidence-based practices for promoting healthy emotions and social emotional development in children. And in that pyramid, we start with a really strong base. And we talk a lot about peer negotiation, peer interaction, self-regulation, adult relationship, and also create an environment at Head Start that is welcoming to the children, that allows them to use these new skills with teacher support, which will help in their social emotional skills, and which is crucial to being successful in academically and socially.
And how does social and emotional learning or impact learning? And you mentioned a few things, but how does it impact learning, or how does it impact learning when kids are not developing socially and emotionally as you would hope?
So, research has shown us that areas of development are connected and dependent on each other. So, children who have difficulty with self regulation and emotional challenges can negatively impact their learning with more complex skills. So, Maslow's hierarchy of needs shows us that children and adults have fundamental needs that must be met before learning can take place. So, first, we all need to have basic needs such as good nutrition and sleep. Then comes trust, love, support, and emotional needs. Once these are met, then individuals are capable of exploring, meeting new challenges, and building new skills. However, if you skip over these needs, learning becomes more difficult. Children can lose focus, confidence, and their curiosity in the world is gone as they are worried about being hungry, tired. They have no trust around them, and it makes it difficult for them to understand others' emotional responses to situations.
And when children can regulate themselves, they're able to attend and engage in classroom learning activities. If they know that they can be heard and respected, and that their needs are all met, they can focus on the task at hand. If they're not able to regulate themselves, or if their needs are not met, it pulls them away from their learning, and they may miss that opportunity if they become regulated, and then a teacher will go and help support them to become re-regulated, and time may have gone by, the activity may be done. So social emotional can have a really big impact on their learning.
Bonnie, can you describe for me what you mean by regulating themselves? What does that mean?
So regulating themselves, we do a lot in our classroom. We say it's okay to have emotions. Everybody has emotions. So we talk a lot about taking deep breaths when we start to feel ourselves getting emotional or upset. We talk about having a teacher help them go through the process. We have cube where we have squishy balls and we have books to help just center ourselves. And then the teacher will come and help process what was going on, child, as to why they got regulated with the process or something had happened, and then help them back into the classroom, back into that learning activity or into the next part of the schedule.
How can adults in a child's life help support their social and emotional development, particularly when there's physical distancing, face masks, and kids can't see expressions and can't really fully see people's kind of face? How can adults help the children continue to learn and grow in those areas?
Yeah, it's very important to have that really strong relationship with the student. This year is different than any year I've ever taught. And we had to do a lot for teaching what it means for wearing a mask, what it means to be social distancing, why we have to do all these things. Children at Head Start. And we did have pictures of ourselves so that they can see what we look like without our masks on. He sent videos of the classroom with our closed Facebook page so that they can see the classroom, they can see us before they even came in at the beginning of the school year. And it also allowed the parents to see what we look like and what the classroom looks like because of the restrictions. They're not able to come in. We spent a lot of time reading stories about what it's like to wear a face mask, talked about how we can see how our friends are feeling through other things than just their facial expressions, but by their tone of voice, their body. And we use a program called The Second Step, which shows photographs of children in different emotions, angry, mad, disappointed. And we talked a lot about how it looked like in the picture, and how it feels in their body. And we just also read a lot of just literacy-based books on social emotional to help them learn. If my friend is angry with me and I can't see that they're frowning, maybe I can tell by their voice, or maybe I can see their arms are crossed in front of them. So maybe that's going to give me a clue as to what.
The other part of it is making sure that we keep regular routines and schedules so that children can learn a little bit more of that self-regulation, knowing what to expect so that they can feel confident in understanding what's going to be happening during the day, and helping children label their emotions by like watching them. That's what we do in early Head Start. When children are upset and stuff, we talk to them about, oh, I see that you're angry, you're throwing things. Is there another way we can do this? And using positive feedback during the day, like not always just pointing out the negative things, but pointing out the positive things that they're doing. Like, oh, it was very nice of you to help your friend reach that toy. Making sure that they're feeling good about them.
And how are parents dealing with this time? How are they coping? How are they feeling about their kids kind of missing out on some experiences? What are you hearing from parents?
As a parent myself, I can tell you that there's some sadness about these experiences, what's been happening in the world, but it's important to talk to the children about their feelings and that it's okay to be angry and sad about what's going on. And for me, I am using this as an opportunity to get more in-depth conversations with my children to learn more about them. So I'm trying not to focus it as missed experiences, but thinking of it as a new opportunity to connect with my child.
I'm a mom too. I have a senior this year, so I'm feeling a lot of guilt for the things that she's missing out on, and unfortunately, it's hard for her. She gets pretty upset sometimes, and we have to talk things through it. We talk about our emotions, but then we focus on the things that we have been able to do. She had her final year of soccer, and she was upset about missing out on some of the things of soccer, especially having to wear a face mask while playing soccer. That was a whole new experience for the kids to get through. And the way things changed, like there wasn't as many spectators at the games. Family couldn't always come see. We couldn't go to our away games because schools weren't allowing people from other towns, things like that. And we talked through it, and I'm like, you have to be happy for the things that you have. You did get to play soccer. At least that was a good thing. You got to be able to do that, doing things together and talking about things more. That's what families need to focus on. I know it's hard. Oh, I miss my grandma, but we can do this with grandma, and we can use FaceTime and Zoom to connect with family and friends outside. My son, I know it's terrible. He spends a lot of time on electronics, but that's how he connects with his friends right now. He talks with them a lot, playing his Xbox, which is not always great, but at the same time, he is getting that social connection in there and being able to keep in touch with friends.
And for connections, particularly when you're talking about social and emotional development and talking about staying connected is really important for our little people, any people, but our littlest that we're talking about. How do parents, what kind of suggestions do you have for parents in helping keeping their little people connected virtually or in any other way to help them continue to succeed and grow?
So I think it's important that, as I talked about before, is having regular, predictable routines and schedules, and, allowing children to know what to expect, maintaining positive relationships, and providing responsive, caring, and encouragement interactions with children. And we need to maintain those relationships, and following their lead. If a child is feeling overwhelmed and is acting out, when you're trying to do virtual learning, you may need to schedule more breaks in there, and get outside, go take a break from electronics when you're doing virtual learning and, play a game together, or just take a break and relax and have a quiet moment. Following the child's lead is very important when it comes to those things. If they become overwhelmed, they're not going to get the educational impact that we're looking for.
For preschool, for virtual learning, at the stage, you want to keep it simple, exciting, and engaging. So a simple thing as sorting socks, color recognition, classification skills. Very simple. And again, like Michelle said, when we have virtual learning, if the child is not ready at that time when we go live, it is being recorded so that when the child is ready, they can go back onto our closed Facebook page and listen to the story that I read for them, sing the song, and then do the activity. But like you said, it's just want to keep it simple, exciting, and for them, which will also help them feel more connected to the classroom because they can see the teacher on the days that we're closed. And there's that back and forth interaction. Sometimes we go Facebook Live where we can have the interaction with the other students in a closed Facebook.
And they must love to see each other.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to they're talking at once.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think it's just like us when we do Zoom.
Yeah.
Everybody's so excited to see everybody that we just want to keep talking, and because we do need that connection.
Right, because the adults need the connection too. It's not just the little folks, right?
And I like it that the parents also are engaged with their children when we do our Facebook virtual days. It's also nice to have that interaction with their child and then with.
Well, that's great. So thank you so much for joining me and talking about Head Start and early Head Start, little babies and infants, and preschoolers and how we can help engage them and help them to grow and to be active learners. And so if anybody has a need to talk with somebody about their child, please give us a call at 802-442-5491 or visit us at ucsvt.org. And Head Start and Early Head Start is currently has openings, I believe, for children, or as we work towards opening our new spring center downtown, we'll have more spaces. And so I think that there's a number that you can call on the screen. So please do so. And thank you for joining me, and stay well and wear your mask.
Thank you, Lorna.